Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Booked Up, a TV show featuring the adult collection and programs at the Peters Township Public Library. I'm Diane, the circulation manager.
I'm Mary, head cataloger.
And I am Sydney, program and outreach coordinator for adult services.
Diane, we're hearing a frog in your throat. This is crazy because Sydney just got over laryngitis and now Diane has it, and I'm, knock on wood, trying to avoid it. But you know, in the library, we appreciate it when our patrons keep the volume down on their voices, but we do not recommend doing laryngitis as your method of.
It's a manual.
Diane
was
so
saying
if
too
I'm
loud
speaking
last
and
week.
then all of a sudden it's just peters out. That's why. So Mary, we have had a lot of fantastic weather so far this spring. It's been a little cold in the last few days. But it's a great time to sit outside with a book and read. So I hope everyone has been keeping up with their reading challenges, whether it's the Bibliophile Challenge, the A to Z Challenge, or just a reading goal that you set for yourself.
Yeah, we have our April and May challenges starting soon. So let's on the screen show our April challenges. We've got read a book of poetry. Read a book about libraries or bookshops. Those are acceptable. And then read a book by a comedian.
Well, poetry, I get what you're doing here, or what Bibliophile Challenge is doing here, because April is National Poetry Month, and it's also Library Week. National Library Week is in April. So
and
these are
April Fool's Day, so the comedians, like we're bam, knocking them out.
Now I got it.
Well, for those of you who are participating, we have the April and May badges. Remember, you only have to complete 2 activities to get that month's badge. So let's take a look at a few suggestions to get you started.
For poetry, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, poetry you can find upstairs at section 811 in the nonfiction stacks.
A couple that I found on our shelves are Dog Songs by Mary Oliver. They're great poems and short stories for the dog lovers, and who's not a dog lover?
Me.
Yeah. We'll do something on cat lovers next.
Thank you.
They Rule the World by Samuel Hazo. Mr. Hazo is a local author who over the years has done several poetry readings at the library. Or if you just want something light to read with your kids or grandkids, you can pick up a Shel Silverstein book at the library as well.
And these will be on display. There'll be poetry books on display because of National Poetry Month.
Absolutely.
And
Comedians?
then our next slide.
You've got some bookish books about books.
Yeah. So with it, you could read a fiction or a nonfiction book.
The library book by Susan Orlean, that really circulated really well. It was a bestseller a few years ago, and it was about this catastrophic fire in the Los Angeles Public Library in 1986. It's really interesting.
Yeah, the fire burned for more than 7 hours and destroyed 400,000 books and damaged 700,000 more, and shut down the public library for 7 years. Wow. Another popular title is What You're Looking For is in the Library by Machiko Aoyama. It's a charming novel about how the perfect book recommendation can change a reader's life.
Books about libraries are always charming.
They are, and we have a lot of them, so you really have a lot to pick from.
And then your last April choice is?
A book written by a comedian.
Yes. A lot of these are like memoirs, right?
Yes, yeah, they're the nonfiction books usually. I love the title of Colin Jost's book, A Very Punchable Face. I think he has a perfectly lovely face.
Yeah. And our coworker Anne-Marie just put together a display upstairs by the reference desk of books by comedians. So if you're looking for one in the library, you can always go there.
I can vouch for Tina Fey's book. It's hilarious, and it's very hilarious if you listen to the audio version because she narrates.
Yeah, I can vouch for that because I listened to that and it was really funny.
Did she narrate it?
She did.
Okay.
She did.
Good.
Yeah.
And then May, what do we have going on?
Yeah, so moving along to the May challenges. Read a nonfiction true crime book. Read a Scandinavian or Nordic mystery.
Well, the
Classic.
Or a classic.
Right.
Yeah.
The true crime, you can find those upstairs in section 364. That's the murder number. I'm always a little suspicious of patrons who are hanging out by the
I'm
murder
suspicious
number.
of my coworkers who know the murder number.
Who just hang out over there. Well, if there's been a sensationalized murder that's been in the news, most likely there is a book about it over there.
Yeah, a lot of people who like crime fiction also like true crime.
Yeah, yes. Then read a Scandinavian or Nordic mystery. If you need any recommendations for this, stop in at the circulation desk and ask for Sue or Carol, because those are their jam. They can offer something up to you.
Definitely.
They know the difference between the Danes and the Swedes
They
and the
do.
Icelandic authors.
None of us can pronounce any of their names, but
They've got this.
yes. Do you want to tell the people how they might find one of those on the shelf?
Well, the Icelandic authors have just a single name, which can be two names, but there's no first name or last name, so that's in there as a wild card.
Yeah.
Just
wander around through the
just
staff.
ask a staff member.
And then the last part of the May challenge is to read a book by a classic mystery author. So there's tons of classic mystery authors, but we picked a few of them.
Yeah, we have a huge Agatha Christie section.
Oh, a lot of people started with Carolyn Keene and the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Franklin Dixon,
Hardy
so-
Boys.
as
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, your Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys are on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot going on with our reading challenges, and I'm sure you have a lot to tell us about programming as well.
You bet I do. But before we get into April, May, let's look back at February, March. So for February and March, we had 75 adult programs in the library, and those had over 700 participants. And that's to date, because it's actually currently March 27th, and so we have a few more March programs coming up. So up on the screen, you can see our bingo for adults and seniors, our author panel, beekeeping, craft swap, needle felting, and mini golf. So mini golf was one of 4 all ages programs we had, and mini golf itself happened this past Saturday. We had 186 people come into the library over like 4 or 5 hours to
Yes.
play our 12-hole course.
It's a perennial favorite.
Yes, it's a blast. We have so much fun doing it. And that picture was of John. So John had the wild robot hole this year, and it was voted the fan favorite. So every year it's like a staff challenge, and we got Parks and Rec and Public Works to start participating 2
Yeah.
years ago. So
They really go all out.
they sure do. So it's an absolute blast for us. There was another event in March that had libraries in the news a bit, and so we've had a few folks come into the library or ask us in our personal lives about it, so we wanted to mention it on here. But the Peters Township Public Library receives most of its funding directly from the Peters Township, and any additional funds come from the state. Because of this, we do not anticipate any immediate impact of our day-to-day budget when referring to the March 14th executive order for the Institute of Museum and Library Services. So we don't anticipate it affecting our day-to-day budget. However, there are some statewide resources that we utilize that are traditionally funded through IMLS, such as Power Library, which has a lot of our databases and stuff on there. Additionally, many other libraries across thank you across Washington County and Pennsylvania do receive federal grant funding. I think up on the screen we had a little bit that's saying like over $10 million was awarded to Pennsylvania in 2024, and that's for public libraries, academic libraries, museums, and other institutions, and the state library itself. I think, or the Office of Commonwealth Libraries, that made up $5.8 million. So it could impact us in the long term, but if there is a change in IMLS funding. Of course, as soon as we know anything, we'll let you know, and yeah, that's it for the executive order. But in much more local news, The Peters Township Council did a proclamation. I have the official proclamation. Oh, with the official seal. It says official seal on the seal, so that's how you know it's official. So National Library Week is coming up. I guess I don't have to get the banner out because the picture's here. So April 6th through 12th is National Library Week. This is done by the American Library Association.
Why waste the banner?
Why wait? Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, lovely. It started in the 50s with the American Library Association and has been going strong since then. So it's just a week to celebrate libraries. They have different initiatives for each day, advocating for your library, coming in and appreciating your library. So we have a couple of fun things that we are doing for it. So we have a Spirit Week that we'll be doing. Whether my coworkers like it or not.
Listen, I'm all in for the first one.
Yes. So the very first National Library Week was actually Wake Up and Read. So for Monday, we are giving homage to that and having a pajama day. So anyone who visits the library, you're welcome to participate in our Spirit Week.
If you've never seen a librarian in her pajamas before, it's a can't miss event.
On Tuesday, we're doing Twin Tuesdays, so dress like a librarian, a library worker, or a friend or family member. Trying to convince everyone that we should secretly dress like one person and not tell them.
Gosh,
wouldn't that be
funny?
fun?
Oh, sounds like something evil you would do.
Never mind. Wednesday's Bookworm Wednesday, so come like a book character or bookish inspired garb. I picked that day because I have a giant inflatable unicorn costume that I just want to wear to the library, and that works. So
You created that day just around the
you'll find
costume.
me. Thursday's Throwback Thursday for different decades or eras. Friday's Fantastic Friday, which could be a fandom or a sports team. And then Saturday is Super Saturday, so a superhero or a super villain.
We're all the superheroes.
Oh, you're my hero. And Mary's mine when it comes to Dewey Decimal numbers. After Spirit Week, well, one thing that is also happening during Spirit Week, we have over 20 programs happening that day, and weirdly enough, we actually have a program on Sunday. Yeah, I know. We're not open on Sundays,
No.
you might be thinking to yourself. So we are doing a poetry event at Monday's Brewing, Hops and Haikus. It doesn't have to be a haiku, but just like a poetry reading or a poetry share there. So one of the other programs we have at the end of that week is our puzzle swap. So as you guys
that's always
know,
a huge draw.
we like our swaps here at Peters Township.
People are thrifty, swapping
Yeah.
instead of buying.
So the puzzle swap is a one-to-one swap where people bring in up to 10 puzzles, they get a puzzle ticket, and then they come back on Saturday and get 10 new to them puzzles. Volunteers make it all happen. They organize the puzzles by number of pieces. So you come in, grab your puzzles, and you get going. So
It's pretty much like a swarm.
it is Black Friday shopping at its finest. So usually before we open, there's a line of like 50 people outside the door. And then by 9:15, most of the puzzles are gone. It's a ghost town.
Yeah, the
So-
library's empty.
yeah. And then the next week we have our game swap. So same thing, it's a one-to-one swap, and it's board games and card games. No video games. We're not getting into the techie side of stuff. But if you're into cooperative games or you received a game that your family maybe doesn't use as much anymore, it's a great opportunity to swap it or pass it along to someone who could use it.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and then the first Saturday in May, we have our plant swap. We'll swap anything at the library. So that could be landscaping plants, house plants, or like seedlings you've started at home for your vegetable
garden.
what she said.
See, and she said
And I'm
it
the one with laryngitis.
Well, and I'm the one who stutters sometimes. Excuse me. So yeah, swaps, plants.
Awesome.
And then we've got some more plant stuff coming. So we've got a slide with some of those programs. Actually, tonight, March 27th, we have a tomato program. But then also coming up in April, we've got container gardening, which is growing in small spaces, our plant swap, plant sale, tomato check-in, which is a follow-up to tonight's tomato program, beneficial insects for your garden, water conservation in your garden, which we were just talking about water and droughts earlier, Mary. And then how to grow garlic will be later on in the fall.
That takes you pretty much all through the summer.
Yep, and at the very top, it's also mentioned the watermelon growing contest. So we're hopeful that later on in April, we will have some watermelon seeds to pass out to people and invite people to take them home, try to grow watermelon, and send us some pictures later on in the summer and join us.
Is there like a follow-up watermelon seed spitting contest?
You know what you do in your own life, Dianne. Maybe outside.
She's innovating. She
is. I appreciate that. And then that's how the library ends up with 5 million watermelon plants next year on the side yard. Just everybody spitting seeds outside. Maybe not that, but definitely we're going to invite people to bring their watermelons back to the library and share them, and maybe we'll have a little prize or a little awards for biggest watermelon, smallest watermelon, funniest watermelon.
So do you feed your watermelon something special that you can
I've never tried growing watermelon before. All of the spreading vines, we have a very active deer population in our backyard, so I don't have my little built-in garden isn't quite big enough for those guys to be happy and spread. So if you have a deer problem like me, watermelon might not work out for you either. Yeah, and then one more thing that's coming back this spring is the bookmark contest.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, so last year we did it with 84 Sign Shop reached out about sponsoring something, and we came up with a bookmark contest together. So last year folks did designs for Adventure Begins at Your Library. So we can see some of last year's winning designs for pre-K through 5th grade up there. And this upcoming year, our theme is Color Our World. So starting in April, we'll have sheets available at the library for people. And some of these designs for 6th through adult, you can see digital designs as well. So those are welcome for people to do.
So they have to stop by the library to get an entry sheet? Is that
no, the school district will also be passing them out to K through 5th grade. 6th through 12th, I think they'll have them available in the library, and we'll deliver them to the schools next Monday. So school age kids might have them available to them somewhere at school. Otherwise, if you don't, we have it available online. Starting Monday, ptlib.org/bookmark will be live with this year's updated information. So
how many entries did we get last year?
We got like 130 entries.
Oh, wow.
Most were in the pre-K to 2 range. Okay. I think they made up like 80 of them, and then it was like a good chunk in the school age. And then the 6th through adult was maybe like 30 total. It wasn't a ton. But yeah. That's it. No more programs.
That's it for your part? Wow.
Teach us something, Mary.
Mary.
Something truthful. Something real.
What, you calling me a liar?
No, your stuff is fun. Mine's usually serious. Anyway, now that it's spring, many people are actually starting that home improvement project that they thought about all winter long. So whether you're picking up the hammer as we speak, or if you're just in the planning stations,
I bet we've got a nonfiction book for you.
Well, that's what I always say every episode. We do have a nonfiction book for you. We know that people get a lot of do-it-yourself advice on television DIY shows and through YouTube videos and other online video sources. And that's great, but yes, we do have books to give background and to augment these subjects for you. If you're still in the planning stages with your project, we have books like these. How to Be Your Own Architect. The house plan books really circulate a lot. And also I put the family cabin on there to illustrate that sometimes people have a second home and they're working on that. And so if you have a family cabin by the lake, or if you've got a beach house, there are usually books about that available.
That's really starting from scratch, home building, not just improving.
Yeah, I really wanted to make it remodeling only, but because those books go out so much, I wanted to mention it. These books can be found at 728.37, Architecture of Residential Homes. Or maybe instead you want to transform a space outside your home, like the books on this coming slide, Outside Living, Patios, Decks, and even outdoor kitchens.
Another kitchen to clean.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want another kitchen to clean either. But if you're actually doing the work rather than planning and designing, the Dewey numbers for these are in sections 690 through 698. Buildings, construction, carpentry, painting, there's even HVAC and plumbing in that section. And there's some remodeling books in section 643, which is really supposed to be for home repairs, but you'll find those books there. And I have the top 3 areas to remodel coming up on this next grouping of books. Kitchens, bathrooms, and basements are probably the top 3 that people work on in their houses.
Those are fun to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I see some of the same brand names on this book, like Black & Decker.
Yeah, we have some really good publishers of these, and you can really rely on Black & Decker, the Taunton Press, and Creative Homeowner. They have, larger format paperback books so that you can, prop it open. They have very clear step-by-step instructions. And lastly, when your construction is over and it's time to decorate, some people find that fun, I've heard. Don't forget our interior, I can't even pick out paint colors. Don't forget our interior design books in 747. So you see them there, from Be Your Own Decorator to a book that I will never check out, the Interior Design Masterclass. I don't even, qualify for that.
The last one is more my style.
Yeah.
Where do I put the couch? Somewhere in front of the TV, and then that's good.
Yeah, you have to have that TV spot, otherwise you can't do your family room at all. But good luck, everyone, with your home remodeling projects.
Did I ever tell you that I've designed some homes?
You have?
Yeah, on The Sims video game. You make your little house, and you have your little people, and they send them out to a job.
Video game skills that translate to real life.
We know who to go to for advice.
Absolutely.
So Cindy, why do we have this giant mailbox in front of us?
Excellent question. I know.
I'm going to hold this little snake because
so
it's so adorable.
I always like to bring in a few things that are like active projects. So this is stuff from the Makerspace. So they did a needle felting of a snail. That was actually one of the pictures we saw at the beginning.
That's so
and
cute.
Then here's on the embroidery machines, they made little cord holders. And this is a 3D printed bookmark. So it says "You fell asleep" here with a little kitty.
So this has like a snap?
Yeah, but that doesn't
that's
explain.
like leather or some kind of leathery kind of material?
So our Cricut machine actually can cut leather and fabric and stuff like that. So those are cut on there, and then using the embroidery machine to put the little cat eyes, whiskers, and the detail along the side.
So cute.
Yeah, so Jamie helps teach us classes, but that doesn't tell you what the mailbox is there for.
No, it
So one of our things that we're doing for National Library Week is love letters to the library. So we'll have a mailbox, some blank letters and envelopes available on the in the lobby for people to come in, write a note to your favorite librarian, Dianne and Mary, or just to the library in general. So we'll share these notes with library staff, and then like our board members, our foundation board members, and then the township as well. So in case you didn't know it, we're part of the township. So our bosses are the or you guys. We've got the manager of the township, Paul Lauer, and then above him is the council. So that's who signed this, Yeah, so we'll let these guys know. Yes.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah. Thanks, boss, for the fancy piece of paper and the paycheck. But so we'll have love letters to libraries, so you can come and let us know what libraries mean to you.
Yeah,
This is one way to get fan letters
that's
for
right.
Booked Up.
And I'd like to say we do accept baked goods as well. So
Yes.
just don't put them in the box.
No, they can go directly into my hands.
And you share, so that's good.
Yes, yeah, I do. But yeah.
Well, yeah, lots of good stuff going on this spring. Well, we'll be back in a few months with another edition of Booked Up. In the meantime, let us help you get booked up with new library programs, clubs, and books. The Peters Township Library is open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 9 to 4. The library is closed on Sundays and on Monday, May 26th for Memorial Day weekend. But don't worry, we're always open online at ptlibrary.org. See you at the library.
And maybe Diane's voice will be back next time.